my name is Nariko Sai, and today we are reacting to MoreParz Compilation Most Viewed Video. Now, I know I might have seen a few of these, but it's been a while, so let's check it out. Okay, let's get started.
Australia has a lot of spiders, but
Has a
recently
lot
we
of
found a new one.
spiders?
Because of
What
course
do you
we
mean you
fucking
found a
did.
new
And
one?
the new one is the most certified Australia moment I've ever seen.
What's
For
a
a bit of
marmot?
context, one of the several thousand spider species we are home to is the Sydney funnel web, the deadliest
Okay.
spider on the planet. Because of course it's down here. Where the fuck else did you think you were going to find it? These scary looking fuckers are highly venomous
Why
and can
does
flatline
Australia
you with a
have
bite
all the
in 15
toxic
minutes.
guys?
And if you think wearing thick clothes will save you, be aware the bastards have fangs long enough to punch through shoe leather. Now,
What is shoe leather? Are you telling me people are walking around wearing like full-on boots?
why do I bring these little nightmares up? What is the one thing worse than a spider rocking armor-piercing rounds that can send you to heaven with same-day delivery? A bigger spider rocking the same perk setup. That's right, Australian scientists have found a brand new species of this funnel web that is even bigger. How much
Why?
bigger? Well, the standard Sydney funnel web grows to around 5 centimetres or 2 inches. And I mean, if
That's
you're asking me,
huge.
2 inches is more than enough.
That's
2 inches is actually
huge.
fucking huge. By
Yeah, that's what I'm
comparison,
saying.
this is the new one. It's twice
Okay.
the fucking size, cunt. 4 inches of 8-legged menace to the animal kingdom. But that isn't even the best part. You see, do you know what they named this thing? Do you know what professional scientists named a supersized version of the most
Satan.
dangerous spider on the entire
I'm
fucking
guessing
planet?
Satan.
The Newcastle Big Boy. Deadliest spider on the entire fucking globe. Big Boy. Only in Australia.
We said it at the same time.
Platypus
I like that
are
song.
weird, but I'm not sure you quite understand just how fucking weird. See, everyone knows the basics. They lay eggs, they sweat milk, and they look like God hit
platypus in
randomizer on the
Australia?
Spore Creature Creator and just called it a day. But you
Oh, he
see,
just
mate,
spawned
that's
in,
barely
bro.
even scratching the surface of weird platypus features. First up, as is the qualifier for any Australian animal, did you know they're venomous?
Yeah,
No,
I did
I'm not
actually know
fucking with
this.
you heard me correctly. Male platypus actually have venomous spurs on their hind legs.
Yeah.
These spurs are multi-purpose, acting as defense from predators, as well as a tool for throwing hands with other male platypus during mating season.
Oh,
and while their
God.
venom is non-lethal, that doesn't mean that getting stung by them doesn't fucking suck. See, platypus venom can cause extreme pain and swelling, and to ensure you remember not to fuck
fun.
with them again, these effects can last for several months and have no
Months?
treatment or anti-venom. So if Perry stabs your shit, your only option is to cry about it. Next on the list of offensive capabilities, I shit you not, platypus share the same hunting method as sharks. You see, that big-ass bill isn't just for show, as it contains enough surveillance equipment to make the CIA blush. Possessing the ability to sense changes in pressure in the water, but most importantly, containing electroreceptors that track electrical signals
God,
from
it's a
muscle contractions
submarine.
made by
It's
their
a
prey.
submarine.
Meaning that when whatever they're chasing starts quaking in fear, they know about it.
Oh.
And last but not least, as if
Hi,
those
buddy.
things weren't already unbelievable, we recently discovered something new. Platypus are fucking biofluorescent. They glow. If you hit these things with a black light, they go bright fucking green. And
How did we just figure this out? How did we just now figure this out?
the best part of that is we have no clue why they do it. I guess it just means Perry was a biblically accurate platypus man. I give up, mate. Who fucking designed this thing? Stepping on this rock could straight up paralyze you. That's because this isn't actually a rock. That is a stonefish, a species of underwater menace native to Australia. And coming as a surprise
That sounds like there's like a fish that I really like eating called like a rockfish or something. It's pretty
absolutely
good.
no one,
Can
it
I
is
eat this
also the
one?
most venomous fish in the ocean. Because of course it is. As if the
I
fucking
thought that
snakes and
was
spiders weren't
lionfish.
enough, now I can get packed up by a pet rock. But why is this Pokemon
Oh,
reject
lovely.
such a threat to my mental health? Well, you see, stonefish use their special venom for defense. However, unlike most other animals that do this little doesn't have the decency to dress like a neon sign to warn you. No. This bastard is a 6th prestige prop hunt veteran, having evolved some of the most impressive camouflage in the animal kingdom to make hunting easier. And once they've set themselves up, they are basically indistinguishable from Patrick Starr's house. Now, this is a fairly
same
major problem
picture.
as
It's
they
the same
love to
picture.
live in the shallows on the beach.
Oh.
And that venom we talked about earlier is stored in these. 13 giant, highly toxic spines that deliver venom when pressed on. You can probably see where I'm going with this. Considering it's hard enough to spot these things while you're paying attention, if you were, say, on a romantic walk along the beach with one of the homies, and while distracted by his ethereal beauty, weren't paying too much attention to where you were walking, it would be very easy to place your foot in the wrong spot and step directly onto 13 hypodermic needles, which would then deliver a ginormous dose of neurotoxin.
Of course
straight
it's
into your system. Oh, you thought it was normal venom. No. You see, these things maxed out the toxin skill tree, producing a mixture of 2 neurotoxins that can flatline you by collapsing your heart and lungs in under an hour. And even if you survive, the sting still causes extreme pain, swelling, and tissue necrosis.
Ew.
Because this is Australia, where even the scenery is trying to one-shot me. This bird can straight hit you with a Mortal Kombat fatality.
Finish him.
Introducing the cassowary, a species of ratite native to the land down under. And for once, guys, it's not venomous. Can still flatline you though, and I'm going to tell you how.
They're literal
you see, these neon
dinosaurs.
chickens belong to the same family of birds as the emu, and as such share their impressive size, coming in at a solid 79 kilos and growing up to 6 feet tall, meaning the short kings in my audience could, in theory, mount these things like a chocobo. But what makes them stick out from emus? Well, you see, the cassowary is basically a spec ops emu, being twice the weight, highly territorial, and most importantly, coming with a combat knife strapped to their foot. That's right.
Actually
this
dinosaurs.
is a cassowary claw.
They're
And it's the
actually
reason they
dinosaurs.
can hit you with a fighting game finisher. You see, these claws are a full 5 inches long. And you know what I mean? Honestly,
That's really
5 inches,
big.
way too big for anything, and especially if it's something that's going inside me. And if you anger the tactical assault turkey, that is exactly what you're gonna get, as their go-to defense method is to kick you square in the gut with that kitchen knife and attempt to disembowel you. And I mean, even if the kick doesn't put your insides on the outsides, that kick is still going to send you flying, which can cause some fairly major problems. Problems like the incident that occurred in 2012, where I you not, a cassowary ran up behind a random tourist, hit the heavy attack button, and kicked the guy down a small cliff into the ocean. I mean, luckily he survived, but the fact that I live in a country where at any point I could be hit with a sneak attack by a kaiju turkey is
it's a literal
terrifying.
dinosaur. Holy bro.
Touching this plant will put you in the hospital.
I'm dying.
This is the gympie-gympie plant, a piece of foliage native to the land down
Gympie-gympie.
under. And surprising no one, not only is the thing venomous, it is in fact the most painful plant on the planet.
It looks like a normal
of course,
plant.
Man, even the fucking leaves down here have a problem with me. Growing in the rainforests of northern Queensland, these hell bushes are covered in tiny hairs that upon closer inspection aren't hairs at all and are actually thousands of hypodermic needles waiting to stab you and break off inside your skin if you so much as brush them. Once inside you, these needles will inject you with, I am not kidding, neurotoxin and cause absolutely excruciating pain. I mean, like comedic levels of pain. With one person describing it as being covered in hot acid and electrocuted.
Oh God!
And
What do
another
you mean
woman saying that it
electrocuted?
was straight up more painful than childbirth and she'd given birth 4 times. And the f***ed up part is, the neurotoxin isn't even lethal. So this spiteful of a plant
won't
is
even
hurting
kill
you
you.
purely for the love of the game. Mind you, there are reports of people saying getting stung by this thing is actually worse than being put in the ground. This is because Groot's little hellspawn cousin here can continue hurting you for literal years after being stung.
Years?
This is because those thousands of little hypodermic needles are actually made out of silicon, meaning your body can't break them down. And with how thin they are, your skin will usually close up over the top of them, meaning that these neurotoxin-emitting slivers can sit inside your skin for literal years, releasing more neurotoxin any time that they're moved or disturbed. This constant, chronic, agonizing pain is so unbelievably bad that there have even been records of, trying not to get banned here, people Alt F4ing existence to make it stop. This particular incident came from a man who accidentally used one of the plant leaves as toilet paper. I don't think it gets much worse than neurotoxin to the nuts.
Oh, poor nuts.
Crocodiles are just dinosaurs that forgot to go extinct. I am
love
dead
crocodiles.
serious, and I cannot think of a croc species to better make my point than the saltwater crocodile, a species
They're
native to
just
the land down under,
puppies.
and shocking absolutely no one, yes, it can and will eat you. You see, keeping on theme with the whole forgetting to go extinct thing, the salty stat spread just feels like something that should have been patched out with the rest of Jurassic Park, starting with their ridiculous size.
Oh, he's a
You see,
big
salties
boy.
are the largest reptile on the planet, coming in at a total of 6 meters long with a maximum weight of 1,100 kilos, which makes this murder lizard genuinely longer than my car. And the up
Oh my
part
god,
is that
they're huge.
despite
They're much
being
bigger than I
longer
thought they
my
were.
youth, they are, for some reason, absolute masters of stealth.
Sneak
You see, crocs are
1000.
ambush predators, which is a scientific way of saying they are dirty campers. You see, they've got 2 raised eyes that sit on the top of their heads, which means they can
Look at their
submerge
pretty
their
eyes,
Ford Falcon-sized frame basically entirely under the water without sacrificing the ability to spot whatever they are looking to turn into a Happy Meal. And from your perspective as the Happy Meal, they are really difficult to see, which makes it very easy to walk just a little too close and
too close.
yeah, get bitten in half by that hydraulic press that they call a mouth.
Ow. That's why I love Nestle Crunch.
That's right, just like
Oh
any
my
good
God.
camper, these scaly arseholes are packing a one-shot in the form of one of the highest bite forces of any animal on the f***ing planet, having been recorded at putting out a maximum of 3,700 psi of force through their jaws. To put that into context, your skull will crack at 1,100 psi, so a croc would pop your head like a watermelon. And if you don't immediately get folded by the first bite, those jaws will latch onto you as the croc begins a death roll, spitting its ton of body weight like a washing machine until whatever part of you it has decided to eat snaps off and is added to its protein goals. But the best thing about the crocodile is their build is so f***ing good. They have genuinely been around with very little evolutionary change for 65 million years.
Heck yeah!
Which means I grew up watching Steve Irwin wrestle dinosaurs for fun.
Are they gonna evolve into crabs?
Rest in peace, you absolute f***ing legend. Koalas are really dumb.
Oh, it's jump
In fact,
bears or
Australia's
whatever.
fuzzy icon is probably the dumbest
Drop
thing
bear,
on the
drop
planet.
bear.
And that stupidity starts with their diet, because of all the things they could have chosen to eat, they chose to eat nothing but straight up poison.
Yummy.
You see, koalas feed exclusively on eucalyptus leaves, which, shocking no one, are highly toxic.
Oh.
Because they are full to the brim with eucalypt oil, which is so fucking poisonous that as little as 3.75 mil is enough to land you in the
I didn't know
afterlife, with the
eucalyptus was
reaper asking
poisonous.
why the fuck you felt the need to eat a leaf.
Why?
Oh, it's also highly flammable and burns like napalm, because Australia.
Yeah!
Despite nature putting up this giant do not eat sign, that did not stop the koala, because he can't fucking read. This suboptimal bulking diet not only gives the koala all in the way of nutrition, but also requires their body to rest to filter out the toxins so they don't fucking cark it. Meaning they need to spend upwards of 18 hours a day sleeping in order
That's
to
just my sleep
digest
schedule.
their
That's just
fucking
my
food.
sleep schedule.
These dumbasses spend most of their life in a food coma. That is, however,
Me
if
too.
they even get to the food to begin with, because they are so mind-numbingly brain dead that they will not recognize a eucalyptus leaf as food unless it is on the branch. I could give this dumbass a lifetime supply of food, and if it wasn't on a stick, he would starve to death. It should come as no surprise to you at this point that the koala has such an esky temperature IQ that they literally have a smooth brain. The thoughts slide right off of this dumb c***. I love him.
He's so cute!
This wasp is basically a xenomorph. Introducing the tarantula hawk wasp.
Oh, I
possibly
saw
one of
someone
the
get
most
stung by this.
nightmare-inducing insects on the planet. And the reason it's such a threat to your mental health is because its hunting and reproduction strategy is ripped straight from Ellen Ripley's autobiography. But before we get to the
crap
strats,
out
you're
of
gonna
me.
have to learn a little bit about it first. Native to Australia, because of course it fucking is, this fucker is the largest
He's so
wasp
pretty.
on the planet.
Oh.
Coming in at a massive 2.5 inches. Which
That's
I mean, boys, we
huge.
would all agree, well above average, right? Huge. And this is probably the most effective 2 inches has ever been because it has the second most painful sting of any insect on the planet, coming in just barely behind the bullet ant. Pack and a half-inch stinger with a potent venom that has been described as blinding, debilitating, and electric. Now, the size and poison aren't just
What do you
for
mean
nothing,
electric?
because as the name Tarantula hawk wasp suggests, they are purpose-built, genetically perfect killing machines designed specifically to violate spiders. Making Australia basically an all-you-can-eat buffet for them. But they don't just execute the spiders. No, that'd be too normal. Hawk wasps use spiders to reproduce in one of the most horrific ways
God,
possible.
I think I remember
this.
this.
Female hawk wasp hunting down a tarantula. As the buff bulking spider takes a wrong turn down a dark alley, the hawk wasp, noticing the 8 sets of TNs on his feet, proceeds to fucking jump him, flying down from above to land a sting into the spider's abdomen, instantly and permanently paralysing it. The bug harbour butcher then proceeds to drag the still completely conscious and aware spider into an isolated kill room, which is where the fucked up part really begins. Because our wasp isn't hungry, it's pregnant, and proceeds to lay its egg on the paralysed spider's abdomen. After about 3 to 4 days, that egg hatches into a larvae. A very, very hungry larvae. Fortunately, there's a whole bunch of fresh fruit right here underneath them. That food being the still paralysed, still very conscious and aware spider. The larvae burrows into the spider's abdomen and gets to converting it into a KFC family bucket, consuming it from the inside out, purposely avoiding vital organs to keep the food nice and fresh. After it's done consuming a living being, the larvae breaks forth from the demolished corpse like a fucking chest burster and fucks off to continue the generational arachnid violation. Anywho, good luck getting any sleep tonight. A gorilla can't beat 100 men in a fight. He gets jumped. But that begs the question, which animal does win?
Hippo!
And the answer, stepping into the ring at 5 meters long and weighing in at a genuinely frightening 4,500 kilos, I present to you the hippopotamus.
Mudang!
Yeah, look, a hippo causing a 100-long line at the gates of heaven after a fight is honestly pretty plausible. You see, despite the fantastic PR work Mudang has done for the hippopotamus
Look at
community,
him. Hi, Chibi.
doesn't change the fact that Moto here is a sentient Ford F-150, the temperament of a fucking serial killer who can win this fight for one very specific reason. You can't fucking hurt it. You say the hippopotamus is possibly the tankiest land animal on the fucking planet, packing an
I forgot they could run that fast.
2-inch height. Now look, we
Oh
all
my
know
God.
2 inches is a lot, especially in the sheets, but in the streets of the African savannah, this makes them practically
Invincible!
Don't believe me? Here is a hippopotamus walking away from 10 lions trying to convert it into a family meal. Notice how the hippopotamus does not give a single fuck. If Mufasa and his extended family can't hurt it, neither can you. However, don't let the fact that it's walking away fool you here. The hippopotamus is not a peaceful animal. They are, in fact, violent, psychopathic, 4.5-ton
Won't they, like, drown you?
that can and will bite you in half. A hippo's jaw produces 2,000
It's so scary when they open their
PSI
mouth.
of pure crushing force. So if he catches your ass,
Oh!
you are the watermelon. And as if the hydraulic press wasn't bad enough, don't forget they've got 2 20-inch fangs in that mouth.
Yeah, why do they have
that'll put a
those?
hole in you big enough to stick your f***ing arm through. But honestly, the bite doesn't even f***ing matter. It weighs 4.5 tons and can run at 30k an hour.
Just
Getting
casually.
hit by a charging hippo is like getting hit by a f***ing bus. There is no way we are winning a fight against something that could probably take out 10 people just by rolling over.
Look at him.
In summary, don't f with the hungry hippo.
Oh my god, the poor gator.
Komodo dragons are horrible.
Oh, I love these guys.
I mean, seriously, this industrial-sized lizard is
Look at
easily one
him.
of the biggest assholes
I've
in the
gotten to
animal
pet
kingdom
one of
when
them
it comes to
before.
hunting methods, packing a PhD in suffering and a double degree in biological warfare purely because they cannot be expending effort to hunt. You see, Godzilla's little cousin here is the largest lizard in the world, weighing up to 166 kilos and being a
Such a
full
big
3.13 meters in length, which means, for the short kings in my audience, if you're brave enough,
I'm a short queen.
bang a motor transport right there.
Hey, there you
Now,
go.
being the reptile equivalent of a Cadillac
Where are my
Escalade
short kings
means the
at?
Komodo dragon needs to consume a lot of calories to keep that bulk going. However, rather than using that bulk to proactively chase down and body slam its prey,
Huh?
they can take down prey 3 times their size because as if being a
Neurotoxin?
reptilian tank was not enough, they are also venomous. And this isn't just your run-of-the-mill snake venom that, gives you a nice quick 15-minute death. No. A Komodo hunt starts with it running up to its prey and giving it a nice big chomp on the leg, injecting it with hemorrhagic venom. After biting the Komodo dragon,
Hemorrhagic. Does that mean the blood doesn't?
Watching. The confused and bewildered animal runs off into the forest, leaking blood, allowing that Komodo dragon to track it like a DoorDash order. A week goes by, and that bite wound isn't closing because hemorrhagic venom prevents blood clots. So, the animal is still slowly bleeding out, and the Komodo is still watching. More time passes. That bite wound gets infected because Komodos are carrion feeders, meaning that the inside of their mouth is full of enough rotting flesh and bacteria to give Asmongold a run for his money. The infection begins to drain the animal's strength, and the Komodo is still watching. Another week passes. The infection has spread, and the flesh has begun to rot. And you best believe that ass lizard is still there watching like he's waiting for his meal to heat up in the microwave. Once the bleeding, disease-ridden animal becomes too exhausted to move on its own and collapses, the Komodo strolls over and eats it alive, shredding it into chunks if it's larger,
Oh my god, that's
if
crazy.
it's small enough, swallowing it whole as it screams on the way down.
You can
Even
hear
for
the go
me,
inside
man,
stomach. Oh
that's
my god. So they can go like weeks without
This
food?
is the deadliest snake in the world. Introducing the inland taipan, and being
Aw,
the
he's
deadliest
so, like,
venom in the
smoothie.
world, I will give you exactly one guess as to where it's found.
Australia!
It's
Down
Australia,
under.
of course it's fucking Australia. Be so serious here. Where the else did you think you were going to find it? Canada? More specifically, as the name suggests, the taipan is found inland in the outback.
Why does
Luckily,
Australia have so many
extremely
Pokemon?
far from civilization, because this homicidal hospital hose is the definition of size doesn't matter. Because despite having extremely small fangs for a venomous snake, coming in at only 6.2 millimeters, the taipan is here to show you that you absolutely can feel less than an inch, because those fangs contain the statistically deadliest snake venom on the fucking planet. Yeah, taipan venom is a pina colada of pain, containing, but not limited to, hemotoxins to cause blood clots, myotoxins for paralysis and necrosis, nephrotoxins to shut down your kidneys, and 3 different kinds of neurotoxin.
How many
Needless to
toxins
say,
does
if
a
it bites
snake
you
need?
will get a headache, vomit up the entire contents of your stomach, collapse to the ground in agonizing pain, and then your heart and lungs will stop, sending you to meet God in under 15 minutes.
Oh my god!
And that venom is so fucking potent that one bite contains enough toxin to do that to 100 people. But the funniest part of this snake's venom is that in the wild, they only hunt rats and f***ing mice. The deadliest venom
Why do
on
they
the planet.
need that?
And they are using it to pack up Remy the rat. It's like hunting a rabbit with a f***ing AWP.
That's the cutest f***ing thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
This adorable little
it's the
octopus
blue
is also the
ring.
world's deadliest.
Why are so many...
Introducing the blue
Okay,
ring's octopus. A
Here's
species.
the thing. So many pictures of people picking these up and stuff. Do they all die? Are they all, like, dead? Are they never coming back? Are they all dead?
Of cephalopod native to Australia, and in a shock to precisely 0 people at this point, it's venomous. Because of
Who
course
could have
it's
seen this
venomous.
coming?
Why wouldn't it be venomous? That'd make my life
It's
way
like
too
neon.
easy.
Of course
Now,
it's venomous.
to its credit, unlike most of the toxic bullshit in this hellscape I call home, they at least have the common decency to be coloured like a fucking neon sign.
Yeah.
However, it immediately loses this credit by being the octopus equivalent of a fucking hobbit, coming in smaller than a 50-cent coin. And this is a problem, because it is the most venomous octopus in the world. That's right.
Yeah, there's
this
so many
fluoro
pictures of people
spaghetti ball
holding
is
it.
packed to the brim with neurotoxin, more specifically tetrodotoxin. You know, the
Tetro?
same shit that turns cooking. Yeah, these little guys are packing it too. However, because it is Australian, the blue-ringed octopus is on violence timing and is the only animal in the world to use this shit as an offensive measure by way of a venomous bite. But what does the venom actually do? Well, imagine you're wading through the rock pools with the homies, and you accidentally disturb this little gentleman's residence. The blue ring, taking the American approach to home defense, suctions onto your leg and bites you. Best part, it's completely painless. So if you're distracted by how thick your mate's looking in those Speedos, you aren't going to feel shit. That is, until your face starts tingling like TV static. It's warm out here under the sun, but you weren't sweating like this 5 minutes ago, and now you got a headache. You start to feel sick, weak. You go to call out, but your voice comes out slurred like you just knocked back a bottle of vodka.
2 shots of vodka.
2 shots of vodka.
And then suddenly, your legs come out from under you, and you hit the beach. Fun fact about tetrodotoxin. It's a paralytic. Freezes up your muscles one by one, starting with your arms and legs, which is why you're kissing the sand. You know what else is a muscle? Your diaphragm, the muscle that controls your breathing. And yeah, turns those bad boys off too. And so, your chest stops rising and falling, and you suffocate to death right there on the beach. Now, you may be wondering, how come no one called an ambulance? That's easy. They didn't have time to. You went up to meet your ancestors in under 20 minutes.
That's insane.
God ordered your ass with same-day shipping, and this little fucker delivered. Employee of the month. This shrimp can cause explosions.
Is this a pistol shrimp?
Introducing the Mantis shrimp, native to the West Indo-Pacific Ocean and possibly the coolest crustacean under the sea, because this fluorescent armoured sausage is actually a voracious, bloodthirsty predator rocking enough surveillance equipment to scare the CIA with a weapon
CIA is getting
powerful
scared
enough
pretty
to
often.
surpass Metal Gear. See, the mantis shrimp is a highly effective predator, and they find and track their prey with easily the most advanced set of eyes on the fucking planet. First off, each of these eye stalks can rotate independently like a periscope, giving them a full 360 degrees of vision. However, more importantly, they can see colours we can't.
What?
You see, the mantis shrimp's eyes contain a full 15 photoreceptor cones compared to our 3. Which is a fancy way of saying they can see in 16K HDR with ray tracing enabled at 500 render distance.
Oh my piece.
And not only is the visual clarity unmatched, they can also see into the infrared and ultraviolet light spectrums. And despite all of this, they still can't find who asked. What they can, however, find is their next meal. The mantis shrimp subsists on a diet of fish, worms, squidward, and, most importantly, Mr. Krabs. Now, crabs famously exist inside of a defensive shell. So, how does this polite little gentleman break into the shell?
So polite.
Simple. He throws hands.
Fun.
That's right, weighing in at only 90 grams and 38 centimeters in length, the mantis shrimp has a punch that produces 15,000 newtons of force. That is 176 newtons per gram. So
He
if a
shoots
human
them?
was capable of that same kind of force, a right hook from someone who weighs 80 kilo would be like getting hit in the face with 6 sticks of dynamite. Now, to produce
He
that
shoots
force,
them with their
its
fist?
core needs to be moving at 83 kilometers an hour, which is so fast it creates a vacuum in the water called a cavitation bubble, which then immediately collapses at such a speed it creates a miniature explosion that flashbangs the target and reaches a temperature hotter than the surface of the sun. Mr. Krabs is getting f***ing disintegrated.
Money, money, money.
No more money.
Most snails aren't scary, except for this one. This one's Australian.
That does make it pretty
Introducing
scary.
the cone snail, an aquatic
Ew, why
mollusk
does it
native
look
to the
like
land
that?
down under. And as seems to be the requirement when sharing your postcode with a kangaroo, you guessed it, it can quite easily cause your neck snap to be in a coffin.
And then
The way it can
neurotoxin.
achieve it is this bad boy right here. You see, despite most
Have a
snails having a
schnoz.
reputation for being slow goobers that get folded by a salt shaker, the cone snail is a highly effective ambush predator. And you may be wondering, how the fuck does a creature that moves slower than the GTA 6 development cycle hunt anything? Well, that's simple. It has a grappling hook.
Huh?
That's
Oh.
right, Gary's murderous little cousin here is a roadhog, mate.
Hi there.
And he
Hello.
hunts by slowly but
I should play
surely
Overwatch more.
stalking up on his prey until he's just within range, and then bang!
Ooh.
The cone snail does a quarter circle input, spitting out a toothed harpoon at 90 kilometers a hour. This harpoon then nails its prey, allowing them to reel it in like he's playing Scorpion. And in case that wasn't bad enough, as seems to be a requirement for spawning on Australian servers, it's venomous. That harpoon also injects its prey with a highly potent neurotoxin that instantly paralyzes it. This means it cannot put up a fight, as it is sucked into the snail's ginormous maw like a nightmarish version
Why is it
of
so
Kirby.
big? Oh my
And,
god.
you know, just in case you thought for once you might be safe, cone snail venom is potent enough to kill 700 people with one sting. Oh yeah, and there's no anti-venom, because it's not enough that it can kill me. No, I have to die knowing there is zero counterplay. Who balanced this
Me realizing I lost to a mollusk.
If you see this thing T-pose, run.
Anteater.
Introducing the anteater, a
Oh,
goofy
look
little
at his
creature native to
schnoz.
Brazil, and to understand why the absolute stance on this bad
Look
boy
at
is a threat
him.
to your health, you're going to have to understand a little about his lifestyle first. Now listen, I know this may come as a shock to you, but the anteater eats ants.
Oh.
And weighing in at 40 kilos and 1.8 meters
They're so
in length,
cute.
it needs to consume upwards of 40,000 ants per day. Now, in order to help him hit his bulking goals, the anteater has a mystery mouse tool stored inside that XL sniffer.
Do it for you.
A 60 centimeter long tongue.
Ugh.
Designed to snake its way down an ant colony's tunnel network, smash into their living room, and abduct
It
the
looks
entire
like
cast of Bugs
a
Life
worm.
and convert them into a high-calorie meal. However, what that tongue do only goes so far, as an ant colony can extend up to 4 meters underground, and termites live in high-rises, which means our boy here is going to have to do a little excavation to get to the goods. But last I checked, an anteater can't go down to Bunnings and buy a shovel. So
Where's
how
the
does he get it?
Bunnings?
Oh, that's simple. With the combat knives he has for claws.
Ah.
Yeah, anteaters are permanently cosplaying Freddy Krueger with a set of 4-inch claws, which, proving the effectiveness of a few inches, can crack through f***ing concrete.
What?
Now, these work great for digging, but they are also more than capable of flatlining you. When threatened, the anteater will rear up into a defensive T-pose. This is your sign, if you are smart, to turn around and fuck all the way off. If, however, you were, say, some dumbass trophy hunter who really felt the need to try and stab an animal for no reason other than ego, the anteater will swipe at you with those claws, which are at the perfect height to nail your inner thigh, slip through your flesh like butter, and sever your femoral artery, causing you to bleed out in 2 minutes while the anteater watches you go meet your ancestors. Can you imagine having to explain to your ancestors who felled woolly mammoths you got your shit packed up by the most unserious creature on the planet hitting a T-pose?
At least they know how to assert their dominance. I love anteaters.
Australia's scariest spider is hiding a deep secret. But what is it? Well, introducing the huntsman, native to the land down under, and the #1 cause.
Can I just say, the weird thing about huntsmen is whenever I see a huntsman spider, it looks like they're wearing shoes. Just look at them and tell me they're not wearing shoes.
Of tourists absolutely shitting themselves on camera.
I hate spiders.
In defense of said tourists, I will be the first to admit, yeah, this looks scarier than a job application. Those gangly ass legs and the hair make it look like Slender Man's testicle. Now, as if having a negative charisma stat wasn't bad enough, I regret to inform you that the huntsman spider grows up to 30 centimeters in size, making it the largest spider on the planet by leg span and legally allowing Subway to market him as a foot long.
Oh, God.
Now, being the spider equivalent of a Ford F-150, you'd think he'd have the common decency to be slow, you know, tank build.
No.
Unfortunately, the huntsman is f***ing turbocharged. Now, it's usually at this point in the video that I would inform you that he is also highly venomous, because it's Australia. However, that's his big secret. The huntsman
He's a good guy.
is a big sweetheart. You see, despite looking like an SCP, huntsmen are incredibly timid, and on the rare occasion they do bite, their venom is harmless. In fact, seeing one of these bad boys in your house is a blessing in disguise, because if you see a huntsman in your home, I guarantee you won't see any annoying ass flies or mosquitoes, because he's eaten them. You see, he understands he's big enough that he should be paying rent, and so he contributes to the household in pest control. I personally have had one of these bad boys as an 8-legged roommate, and I can tell you they're pretty good company. Except for the part where they cause car crashes.
This has happened to someone I've heard of.
Like to hide in tight spaces and cracks, and they do it by flattening out their body to fit into the gap. Now, in the house, that usually means you'll just find them behind a painting, but when you're flying down the highway at 110k an hour and decide to flip down the sun visor because God is trying to flashbang you, yeah, they like to sleep in there and you've just dropped one into your lap. Now, whatever you do, don't panic or you're going to crash the...
Yeah, no, I definitely crashed the car, I'm gonna be honest. Oh, that was so good. Oh, it looks like there's another compilation. I guess we'll have to watch that one next.